You don't have to do that.
Well, keep that in.
Nenad, there you go, man.
Yeah, not too bad, brother. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming.
Lovely to be here. Appreciate it. Not that far of a drive, so pretty good
it's
for
good.
me.
You got here pretty quick.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing?
Nothing much at the moment. Just currently recording 3-track that we're hoping to release early next year. We currently got instrumentals done for one of them. Well, done sort of in a way where we can move on to the next song. So we're doing 3 of our songs, which is the first 3 songs on our set list at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So he's already playing them live.
Yeah. We've
testing
already,
them out.
Yeah, well, we've already played a lot of our songs live before we even recorded the single, just because we had songs to sort of go for when we played the Vanta gig in February.
Yeah, okay.
The first one that we played. So we've just been practicing, and we were going to try and, I think at the time we were going to try and record them first before sort of going out and playing them live. But then, we got offered that gig a day before they were meant to play because the band pulled out. We just sort of been playing the demo versions of them since. I didn't even know lyrics to 3 of the songs when we played that show.
Oh, so you were just making them up?
Yeah, I was just making them up on the spot. I was thanks Kendrick Lamar, for that one. It's just freestyling them on the spot. So first song and then the last 2 songs of that set, I had no lyrics for at all. So I just made them on the spot. But it kind of worked well in a way because I used the sort of freestyle versions as like the patterns to be able to write lyrics to the songs anyway. So in that sense, it kind of worked out well.
That's cool.
I had a good amount of patterns that I could use to write my lyrics around. So
that's good.
Helped us out a lot. And then here we are.
So who writes the music? Do you write some of it? Can you play an instrument?
No, I can't play an instrument. So I'm just really.
Do you kind of still go, no, I reckon do this or do that?
Yeah. So I do have a bit of input in
like structures.
So in King Hit, where you have the little sort of double bass triplet in the end of the breakdown, that was my little insertion. Insertion. I was like, that could use a little cool triplet. And then
that's cool.
I think even in the new song that we've kind of got, like that we've just done, I was like, I'll put a triplet breakdown in there. It's like, Josiah's like, man, you love your triplets, don't you, my drummer? He's like, you love your triplets. I was like, I love a good triplet.
It comes in threes.
It comes in 3. That's right. All the best things come in 3.
Yeah, that's right. So why 3 songs? But I notice heaps of people are doing that. Like that's kind of the thing nowadays. Like because it's not as long as an album or like an EP. Yeah, but it's not too short of like a single. But it's like kind of like a nice. It's kind of
like a little good middle ground.
Because we were going to do that too, but we only ended up doing 2 because our drums with 1 song. It wasn't quite ready.
Three tracks sort of have always, like, I've noticed even back in the 80s, like hardcore bands used to release a lot of 3 tracks.
Oh, really?
And like cassettes, so it's kind of like it's very easy to sort of get it done as well in a way. And you can just get music out quicker. And everyone's attention span is so short these days where it's like an album is too long. An EP is like almost considered an album these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah, because like you're saying, people's attention spans aren't as long. And that's even like with the 3-track thing. I find that like when the way people are listening now, like commuting somewhere, it's just that's kind of like a good length of. It's like 15 minutes or something. You know what I mean? Like 3 songs or whatever, however long the songs are.
Yeah. And so and also like. When a 3-track's done, like especially like Spotify or something, when the music's finished, the radio turns on for it immediately. So you can even discover like new bands quicker that way. Because, I know from personal experience too, I would get from listening to an album, like I used to listen to albums all the time when I was younger.
Same.
Now, fucking catch me dead listening to an album, So,
yeah, that's funny because I'm the same. Like I love that album idea, but then I listen to that. Have you heard of Graphic Nature?
No.
I checked them out recently. They're band from England, and not because their music was bad, it was fucking awesome, I loved it, but I found like after like 5 songs I had to change it to something else, even though it was still good, like it wasn't like I was bored, or I don't know, maybe it's affecting me too, the whole thing.
The whole TikTok thing, tends to
I don't ever use TikTok, but it's just I think you kind of get affected by it. You're looking on Instagram and stuff.
You got your reels, like,
and we've got so much shit going on all the time.
Exactly. Everyone's so overwhelmed these days with so much information. You just kind of can't sit down for 40 minutes to listen to an album. Like the Boundaries album, I think it took me 3 days to get through. Just because like the new one that just came out, just because I would go through like 3 or 4 songs and then I'd listen to something else and I'd try to repeat the album again from the start. Because I'm really with albums, I like to sit down and then just go start to finish. I don't want to just leave it off like a book or something. You know, you just leave it at a chapter and then you keep going.
Yeah.
So it just took me like a while to get through. I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to sit through it. And I think I had a bit of a longer drive, so I just lashed it on. And I've only listened back to it like once. And it's a really good album too, but it's just, you just can't be bothered going back to the album. Like I feel like once you sort of listen to an album, you kind of listen to it as an album. You can't just choose like a random song.
Yeah.
Or that's just me, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, unless you save it on a playlist or something.
Yeah.
I just find 10 albums to be like an actual effort, almost like reading a book in these days, you know? So 3 tracks, again, like EPs are more sort of, you know, 5-6 tracks as well. You get through it and it's like, it feels tedious.
Yeah, so, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so.
Another thing as well is, I don't know if you're the same as me, but I find that when, say, you're writing music and then say you're going to write like an album, say you're going to write like 7 songs or 8 songs, you've written like 3 and then, you know, sometimes you don't, like you might not have like a massive output, so then it might be a couple months and you write a couple more. You're kind of like, fuck, these new songs are way better. And then the old songs are like, this shit, no, we're not using them. So it's like I can never get enough songs for an album.
No,
anyway.
you can't, exactly.
Because I'm always like, no, this shit's way better. The other stuff sucks. Fucking delete.
Yeah. Just
that's what I do.
And
the other boys in the band are like, fuck, that song's good. I'm like, no, man, it's really not up to scratch. And they're like, it was good before. I'm like, well, it's not anymore. So
no, not to me anymore. Yeah.
yeah, my standards have fucking changed.
We're kind of the same in that regard, where we're like the new songs that we're also writing, because we're constantly, you know, Mitch and Nath, our guitarists and bassists, we've just got like a new sort of demo that we're working on at the moment. That's not a part of the 3-track though.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're constantly sort of writing in that sense. And now you listen back to some of the songs that we played before, and I'm just like, these suck.
Yeah.
You know, especially the last song that we had on the set list. I don't particularly like. It was called The Gentleman as a joke because it has a genty breakdown. Oh. So as a stupid dad joke, I just called it The Gentleman, and everyone was just like, man, it's such a dumb name. And I was like, I know. But we want to keep that breakdown, but we don't want to keep the song. Yeah. Because the breakdown at the end is pretty hard. But yeah, like this song entirely is just, I don't like the lyrics in it. I don't like the sort of the spacing in it or the pattern that it goes. It's kind of repetitive. Yeah. And then it just has that breakdown at the end. And you're just like, oh, this is sick. Yeah. So worthwhile.
So you're going to steal that out and put it somewhere else?
I think so. We might just reimagine the whole song entirely, see what happens. But so far, we're kind of trying to rework the set list at the moment. Yeah. Because we've been playing every month since February. You know, I think in March we played 2 gigs or 3 gigs. Yeah, like in that whole month. And it's like, it's a bit much.
We'll have to play a gig with you, though.
Yeah, would be fun.
But different, fairly different sounds of music, but...
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think we played with a bunch of death metal bands as well, you know, and like more so orientated like in towards like metal instead of like hardcore. Yeah. I feel like we're in a very happy medium where we can play with anyone we really want to. We can play, I think we can play with deathcore bands, death metal bands, tech bands, like gent, hardcore, post-hardcore. Well, not post-hardcore, that's stretching it actually. Yeah. But like, I think we can just play with all sorts of heavy bands that we can. Yeah, yeah, sure. Because we're more like that metallic hardcore or like sort of nice little area.
What your stuff kind of reminded me a lot of like when I was a teenager, I listened to I can't remember half the bands now, but I went through this phase of listening to heaps of stuff from like the Bay Area in San Francisco. Yeah. And there was stuff like there's like have you heard of Skin Lab?
No.
Oh, there's like Skin Lab and then Propane and then obviously Machine Head, stuff like that had like massive hardcore influence. Like you listen to the early Machine Head, it's got that kind of really urban street vibe and like kind of like a really rough edges to it. Yeah. It's not refined. And you know, if you listen to their stuff now, it's way different. You listen to like say the old Machine Head, it had that
like Davidian and
all that. It had that like urban vibe. And you look at the video clip and they're all wearing like hell street clothes, walking their Rottweiler dogs or like staffies or whatever the fuck they were, walking them. He's like got his beanies down to here. He's like fucking, you know, it's like got that vibe of like they're fucking ready to fucking smash on. Or whatever.
Well, that's kind of like the sort of the vibe the boys wanted to go for as well. I did too, you know, in a way, but we wanted to do a show like balaclavas and stuff like that, just kind of like be like tough boy hardcore stuff. And
there's a band that some guys wear balaclavas, or one of them does. That Traitors, have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, I have,
doesn't one guy wear a balaclava?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I've more so heard their songs than like looked at their sort of
I think I've seen it on social media. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. I can't say I've seen anyone doing it like personally at gigs.
Yeah, Dion did it. Dion from Dirty Work, he did it for the one where they were opening up for Daybreak.
Okay.
He wore his like balaclava for like half the set, and then he got hot, and I was just like, bro, especially at amps with the light like behind the screen and everything, like all the images and stuff. So it's like you got the extra light in the back, and then you got the lights pouring out from the stage as well. You're just getting aught.
That's why there's a mullet that I wear as well at gigs. I've got this mullet that I wear. It's like it looks like a whole 80s fucking thing, and I'll sometimes chuck that on for like the last song. But I used to wear it all set just as a joke, and fuck, it is so hot, man. Yeah, it just traps heat on your head.
Oh man, I wanted to wear my suit as a joke because all the boys memed me because I've started out my broker business as well, like kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then the boys all memed me and decided to use my broker profile photo as like the backdrop.
Yeah,
that's what Dirty Work did for that gig as well. So I was like, oh, you know what? As a joke for a Halloween show, if we were to play one, I'd just wear that.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking about it. And I was like, bro, I would be sweating, like just melting on stage. But it'd be funny. But at the same time, I'd be like, oh man.
That's all. Yeah, you see all these bands like Slipknot and that over the years. The shows they've played in masks and like fucking jumpsuits. Fuck, man.
Especially in the early days.
You get like heat stroke.
Yeah, well, especially in the early days of Slipknot, like where their masks were just
they're probably now they're like a bit more vented and probably a lot more high end. Whereas back then they're just fucking pretty like
they were just like attacking
agricultural
their face, melting on their faces as well. Like I think Corey Taylor was talking about how his first mask, he had the dreads coming out of the actual like mask and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. But like it was just, I imagine it'd be brutal, and like the plastic was just melting off his face and stuff. I was like, man, but that was so hectic with everything. Yeah, back in the day.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Lovely band.
Yeah,
charming fellows.
So what got you, why hardcore? Why do you play that in particular? What's your genre? What is it about that? Like what's?
I think sort of.
Oh, sorry, 2 seconds.
No, you're all right.
2 seconds. So where were we? What were we talking
about? Why hardcore?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think.
Were you listen to shitloads of it when you grew up?
Not really.
No.
No, I never really got into hardcore until maybe I wouldn't even call them hardcore. Like Knocked Loose, maybe Code Orange, like the I Am King album for Code Orange, and then Forever. Knocked Loose again, Laugh Tracks, and Kublai Khan. So all those kinds of bands are more sort of, I wouldn't say they're hardcore, they're more metalcore, but like the old school kind of like metalcore. Yeah. Before the sort of chugs and everything like that,
That Kublai Khan kind of, they remind me a bit, and I'm not super familiar with their stuff, but they remind me a bit of Hatebreed.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the sort of sound, that metallic kind of hardcore.
Yeah, because I haven't typically ever really listened to much hardcore. Like Hatebreed's probably the biggest hardcore band I listen to, but I didn't realise there's actually like levels to hardcore as well.
Yeah, there's a tier list there. It's like just tiers of hardcore. It's like, man, it's like
people are probably like, they're fucking way too mainstream.
Yeah, I make fun of like kids in hardcore so much about that because like, oh man, it has more than 1,000 monthly listeners. Screw that. Sellouts, posers.
It's like $9.99. They're like, fuck, it just clicked over now.
Yeah. 1001. Now you're done.
They're dead to me.
Yeah, dead to me.
I'm deleting it.
I listened to their old stuff before their new EP came out. It's like, bro, who cares?
Yeah.
Sounds like it was recorded in his mom's basement. This is sick. And it's like, man.
That's not black metal, hey? Isn't it like the worst it sounds? The more like fucking true it is or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It was back in the day, like, with all those sort of
like Burzum and
Burzum or Varg Vickens and all that.
And
so
fucking
Emperor and
Immortal. Is it Immortal?
Yeah, Immortal as well. And then what's the big one that everyone always loves to talk about?
Dimmu?
No, not Dimmu Borgir. Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem. The guys that fucking had the guy shot himself.
Yeah, and
the guy made a necklace.
Yeah, they made an album cover out of it as well. I tried looking for it on Spotify. I was like, surely they didn't put this up, and they didn't. I was like, they didn't. Come on, man. Come on.
That's like Carcass had. You know Carcass?
Yeah, I've heard of Carcass, yeah.
Yeah, they had, I remember my brother, my oldest brother had a mate that he lived with, and this guy was I think he was a junkie. Nice guy, but he was obviously just going through a rough patch and was stuck on the drugs or whatever, and he wanted some money, and I was just a young fella. I was like a teenager, like 15, and he had heaps of, he had like, I think one band was like Carpathian something or whatever. They were like a black metal band, and then some Dimmu stuff, heaps of Carcass CDs. It was stuff I hadn't heard at the time, because at the time I was listening to lots of Pantera, Megadeth, Machine Head, Metallica, Sepultura, that kind of shit. And then he had all this shit, and I was like, fuck yeah, new stuff to listen to. And he had like it was like a, you know, like a small flight case thing, or not flight case, like, you know, suitcase, zip up one, and that was just full of like CDs and VHSs, and there was and on there it was the Carcass one, and I don't know how rare it is. I wonder if I still get this thing, but it's a cassette, and it's got a photo of Kennedy's head like blowing apart, like it's the actual photo.
Of him getting shot.
Unedited, yes.
Yeah.
Of him on the autopsy table.
Oh, wow.
And his head like on one of them block things they put it on, you know, how they like rest their head on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like all fucking blown open. It's fucked up. It's graphic as
That's
fuck.
hectic.
And that was their live VHS, I think. I think it was. I'm sure someone will correct me if it's not, but I wonder if I still got it, because I bet you that's worth something, because I'm pretty sure it got banned pretty quick, but this guy had it.
Yeah.
This guy had like heaps of cool shit that I'd never heard of, like super underground bands, like black metal bands and that I can't remember now, but this guy just like was an avid collector of it. And then he had that book that was about, that book that was written about like about Mayhem. You know how that guy wrote that book?
Yeah.
Yeah, about, I can't remember what it's called now. And he had that. I'm pretty sure he had that, and he gave me that. I think I gave him like $100 or something for all this shit. That's probably worth a fuckload now.
Yeah,
on eBay.
Probably, yeah. If you definitely worthwhile having a look and seeing what the value of it is.
I need to ring mum, see if it's still at her house or something.
Yeah, just double check it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you think hardcore has tiers and levels, geez, black metal is like even worse, man. Like
I can't keep up with it. Like, even when you said post hardcore, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's more like your bands like I mean, Fugazi was one of the first ones. I don't know if you've ever heard of Fugazi.
No.
Well, yeah. Ian Watkins from Minor Threat got annoyed with how hardcore was going at the time, or punk hardcore, with the whole straight edge thing, because their song Straight Edge is really what kind of prompted that whole movement.
Yeah, okay.
And it got like really violent in the 80s, where, you know, people were sort of, if you were saw drinking at a punk or hardcore show, you'd be taken out back and they'd mob you and draw an X on your back and pour salt into the wound. Yeah, so it got really, really violent. Oh, and then he kind of was like, screw this, and then started Fugazi, where I think the only thing they charged was, it might have been, because they didn't charge for, it might have been live shows, but they didn't charge for their CDs or merch or anything like that. Everything was like kind of like free.
Yeah.
Waiting Room is their biggest song. I'm pretty sure you might have heard it somewhere, but yeah, it's a huge song. So kind of started off with that, then you have like, it kind of made a...
So what's it called? Post-hardcore. So it's like hardcore, but it's not the same rules or something. Is that what it is?
It's not sort of like, it's kind of got the same vocal, but it's more like emotional, especially when you kind of go into the 2010s.
So it sounds fairly different, does it?
Yeah, it does.
It's still got the same riffs, like John kind of riffs?
No, not really. No, it's more like sort of clean guitars in a way as well. Okay. Or you have some distortion on there too. But bands like Touche Amore or La Dispute.
I've heard a La Dispute. I used to know a guy that listened to them. Yeah,
so that's kind of like the more
sort of like spoken word.
Kind of deal. Or you can be screamed out.
Poetry slam.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it was just, I mean, in the mid 2000s, it kind of got sort of, bands like Escape the Fate or something like that were kind of considered that sort of post-hardcore movement, but they really weren't. They were more so like, I wouldn't even say metalcore or things like that. It was just sort of like a different thing. Escape the Fate was like Motley Crue with screams in it, I suppose. I've always sort of looked at it that way.
Yeah, I can't say I'm
Dying
not
is your latest
Sorry, what the fuck? Sorry, mate.
No, you're all right.
Sorry, that was my bad. Should have had my phone on silent. I should know better.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, no, like that.
Yeah, I've heard of Escape the Fate, but I haven't heard. That's not Ronnie Radke's one of his bands?
Yeah, it was his old band.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, because and then he had, was that, and then what was the other band he had? Didn't he have another band before Falling in Reverse?
No, he was in prison during that time before Falling in Reverse, yeah.
I thought he had something else.
Lovely guy.
Actually, I reckon he's a funny guy.
He is pretty funny, but it's just some of the things he says. I'm like, man, just stop digging your own grave, man.
I like how he just calls people out, like he screenshots their comments and then puts a response. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, puts them on Instagram and stuff like that.
His TikTok thing. It's funny.
Oh, he's a character, that man.
I think I reckon I kind of would be like that if I was like that famous. People were paying out of me. I'd be like, fuck this. I'm just going to call this cunt out.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, mate. Because like, I would like to think I'd be humble.
But I think if you ignore it, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't go away.
I think if he ignored it, it would go away. Like people would just get tired of it. But I think because they know he's going to respond. Yeah, I think he loves it.
He loves it.
I used to get dragged into online arguments so much on Facebook.
Oh man,
Instagram, and I just stopped because I'm like fucking doing this thing, and then I got like a guitar endorsement, and I was like, I gotta stop because I'm gonna make a dick of myself.
Yeah, I used to look at those online comments and I was just like, man, you guys are arguing about like whether this is, especially because I grew up loving Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
And Avenged, like they always used to get, this is a metal, like Iron Maiden and Slayer's metal and all that crap. I'm like, man, just leave it alone. Like, who cares? Like, if that's your definition of metal, great. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't even consider them that much of a metal band these days anymore anyway.
I haven't heard them for a while. The last album of theirs I liked was that one with Almost Easy on it.
Oh, the self-titled one.
Yeah. That was that's a sick song, man. I love the drums and that, you know, that ride.
Yeah. The double ride to the.
Yeah, that's fucking, that's so iconic, man. Heaps of people know about that.
Yeah, it's so sick. That he was just, in terms of drums, like a madman.
Yeah.
Like the Rev was, Yeah,
he's an awesome drummer. There's actually a drummer that kind of there's a band called Anchor. Have you heard of them? I think they're Greek, like Ankor. And they got a chick drummer. She's fucking amazing, and a chick singer, killer band. And she does that thing in one of the songs. I heard one of their songs. It was one of their singles. I think it's called Prisoner or something. And I remember I saw it on Instagram. I was like, hey, that's that thing that the Rev does.
Yeah, the double ride like into the.
I was like, I've only heard him do that. I haven't heard anyone else do that. And I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's like
someone else is doing it.
Yeah, someone else is doing it.
It's a sick
like,
move. I was like to our drummer, you got to fucking start doing this shit.
Yeah, I was like to Josiah as well. We got to start doing the double rides like the Rev does and stuff like that. Me and him just always constantly at jams, just like playing Avenged Sevenfold songs, and everyone, like the rest of the band, is just like, guys, just stop, like stop.
Damn, Shadow's a good singer, man.
Yeah, he is. Well, not underrated. I wouldn't say underrated. He's got a unique voice in a way.
I think he's kind of underrated because when you hear of like lists of great singers, he's not really on them.
No,
often, but he should be because he's Because what was that song of theirs that did where they had the video clip where he's in jail and his missus gets in a car crash?
Oh, Seize the Day? Yeah.
Awesome vocals on that.
Yeah.
And then he's and he can do that scream plus vibrato thing that he can do, which I would imagine would be quite hard to do.
Yeah, with that Fry of his as well. That he just leaves on for like 15 seconds back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, not even 15. He could do it for like 30 and just like Mike's like all the way out here. And he's just like, bro.
His face is going red.
Yeah, his face is going red. That rock hammering clip. It's like, bro, how do you even do that? Like,
that's not that Chester scream, you know, giving up.
Yeah, the Linkin Park one.
Yeah.
Where what's the song that he does it on?
Yes, giving up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the one. And then I've seen live that new singer that Emily. She does it live, but she only does like half and then does it again.
Yeah,
and I was like, doesn't hit the same.
No, it doesn't.
Even though I think she's a good vocalist. Everyone's paying out on her. She's awesome, but
yeah, I haven't heard it at the moment. Yeah, just kind of been. I saw a new vocalist for Linkin Park. I was like, I've
heard him before. I'm done. I'll get that. Yeah.
It's just like with those old school kind of bands when they change, especially when you change vocalists. Like it's really sort of like you're just like, The thing
I like because I remember just growing up listening to so much Linkin Park, playing like Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah.
And listening to Linkin Park flat out.
Yeah.
And it's just like so nostalgic for me. And I loved that whole like how thing Mike Shinoda does the rap and then Chester does the screams and the other vocals. And I love that whole dynamic. And no other band was really doing that on that level that good. And like with the electronic elements and that. And I fucking love it. And then so when they kind of went shit for a while anyway. They released a couple of really shit albums. And then obviously Chester died.
That Transformer money, baby. You don't need to fucking release any good albums after you do Transformers. Yeah, especially like What I've Done, like that. Yeah. You know, the amount of money you'd be getting from that. Oh, yeah, 100%. Insane. So why?
Yeah, but I guess they probably still want to make music though.
Yeah, of course. But, you know.
But then obviously when she's come on the scene, I was like, didn't really care. But then I think I heard a clip and I was like, oh shit, that sounds all right. And then I checked it out and And I just love, it sounds kind of like their first stuff, like Hybrid Theory. It's got a bit of that, and I love that album. And I was like, fucking, it's fresh to finally hear something like this again, because there's been so much metalcore doing the same fucking shit all the time. Sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
And then it's something fresh. I'm like, finally, something that I used to listen to.
That's
but
coming back.
not having to listen to the same old album I listened to.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like
refreshed itself. It all goes in like 20 year. I feel like everything goes in like 20 year sort of cycles, you know?
It does, eh?
Because like you can hear now like old school metalcore come back, like with bands like Dying Wish and even Boundaries and Sea Space Cowboy. Like all those bands are like taking that old school.
And a bit of thrash is coming back. Guitar solos are coming back.
Yeah, thank God, man. I love a good guitar solo.
Yeah.
Like when people like just discarding like guitar solos for just breakdowns, I'm like, come on, bro.
Can we have both? Just a bit. So that meme with that little kid.
Yeah.
Can we have both?
Like the old El Paso meme.
What's that?
The taco one that's like she's just like, why don't we have both?
Oh,
and then they throw up in the air.
Oh, like, Is that what that kid's off?
Yeah.
I only just remember seeing her face and she's like, why not both?
Oh, those ads used to be on TV all the time when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah. I can't remember the Spanish way of saying it, but I'll probably butcher it. But yeah, it's just, I just love a good, but you know what's great? And like Domination is a great example of this, is when you go into a solo and then you dive bomb it into a breakdown. Yeah. I still think that's the greatest breakdown of all time.
That's I reckon I remember this guy I used to work with, and he was always banging on about Parkway Drive and like, they're the fucking heaviest, man. And I was like, to be honest, I've never really been into him. I don't rate him. But I
love Parkway.
Sorry, man, but I've never got into him, man. I just never did.
Yeah, I kind of dropped off with Parkway after Deep Blue,
the
third album. So the new stuff, I'm like, it's just Rammstein.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like metal light.
Yeah, it's just sort of
it's like metal for dads or something.
Dad metal. Yeah, that's the one.
And not to insult them or anything. I know that they're obviously fucking great musos and all that, but it's not my thing. But
I got it when I saw them live for the 20-year anniversary. I got it. Like I'm still not going to go listen to those albums, like the new albums.
But
live,
live,
you just like you look at it and you're like, okay.
I think that new music's more live music. Yeah, it's on an album, but it's more for live. It's written for arenas and shit.
It is definitely. It's more orientated towards the live experience than it is. Yeah,
and I get that, because now, even after playing like a few gigs and that, I kind of, when I'm writing stuff, I'm like, I'll try to think, how will this go over live? Yeah. Because sometimes you play a song that you really like, that you've written, and then you play it live, you're like, fuck, that sucks live.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were sort of thinking about that as well, but I just don't really, as much as I love playing live and stuff like that, I don't want to sort of just focus on having it, this is going to sound great live. It's just like, it just sounds right for the song.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because like, you might not be able to do it live, but as like a recording and as a final piece of art, like it will just sort of resonates a bit more than just thinking about how it's going to sound live. Figure that out later. Yeah. But yeah, like the live experience sort of will come naturally, I feel, if you just put a lot of dedication into the art and the craft of the song.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you sort of think about what is going live. But also at the same time, sometimes when you do hear a breakdown that you've written, or like a, riff or anything, you're just like, man, this is going to sound so sick live. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like when it comes, or they both sort of come together, it's just, there's a bit of magic there as well, when you're just definitely, like really focusing on making the song work, but then when you like hear it all in like a final sort of thing, and you're like, man, this is just gonna hit live so hard. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to get this 3-track out.
I'm keen to hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
You'll have to show me some.
I'll show you some after. I haven't done vocals yet. But yeah, I can show the instrumentals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you're comfortable too, I don't mind if you don't. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I can sort of show some of it. I mean, we got this like cool little. Let's have a look. If you can hear it on the, do you want me to just put it on there?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Is that like a sample?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's that of?
I don't know. Mitchell found it somewhere. We've just been using it since. It's just that.
That's sick.
Punches you straight in the head. pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, I'm pretty keen to get it.
I dig that. That's
Get
cool,
it out.
man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bob. That's like the intro to our live set
Oh yeah, cool.
because we got that little sample that comes
Yeah, that's
through.
sick. I like that.
Yeah, but the new song that we're kind of working on, the demo that I was mentioning earlier, like that's got Chopper Reed.
Oh yeah.
Going about is like, if you don't pay me the money right now, like 20 seconds, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
And it's like when it goes into like the 19, the gunshot, and the riff comes in. I was like, oh,
That's sick.
it's such a shame that we got Eat Shit and Die as the intro. I was like, we should probably use that one, the new one that we're writing as the intro, and then have like this one in the middle, kind of.
Yeah, kind of in the middle, break it up a bit
break
again,
it up
like another
bit.
little interlude thing that breaks it up. So it's not songs back to back to back.
Exactly. So, I was like, oh, might have to. And I've been such an advocate for Eat Shit and Die because that's what the song's called.
Yeah, okay.
Which is funny because Mitch will just, when you write your demo, like names and stuff, like you just make ridiculous song titles.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, Eat Shit and Die was like one of them. And I was like, I might use that as a lyric actually. So I did. It's like the first lyrics of the song is like, Eat Shit and Die to those who sell us out, and then Eat Shit and Die to all you corporate scum.
Yeah.
So that's and then he was like, you're actually going to keep the title? I was like, yeah, I'm keeping the title.
That's
for
cool.
Sure. Yeah. Because it's funny too. It's like,
you
just randomly have a song called Eat Shit and Die. And I'm just like, pretty funny.
You're going to get cancelled.
Well, who cares?
The venue will be like, sorry, we can't.
Yeah, we can't promote you. You're just promoting people dying and eating shit. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fetish I have though.
Yeah.
Scat. Is it called scat?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I don't really want to know either.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's like Bear Grylls and his piss fetish. It's like, I'm going to go drink my own piss.
I love those. There's a guy on Instagram that I think he's an Aussie guy that does good piss taker, Bear Grylls.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, the other way is, I'm going to go like have a little bit of piss. And
yeah, me and my mates always like just for like, we could go for hours, like walking down the street, go and buy myself a coffee, went around the corner, no coffees left, better drink my own piss. It's just like the most random scenarios. Like,
I could never stand that guy, hey, Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls,
I fucking never got, when he was getting like big, I was like, fuck, this guy just, something about him just irks me.
Yeah. I think it's just his head, to be honest. It's just
and the way he talks, it's just like, he comes across as a fraud. And then I saw that heaps of stuff he was filming was fairly frauded.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way.
And he reckons he was like an SAS dude or something. Then weren't like, didn't some people say, some SAS guys go, he was never like in our unit, or he never was part of our thing.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that actually. I know that.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I always just found that Bear Grylls was hilarious. Like, we just always thought he was so funny because, like, especially because, like, in school we used to watch Man vs. Wild as like a sort of like a thing to sort of promote how to survive in the wild.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I think the teachers were just bored and they just wanted to, not bored, but they didn't want to teach because they were hungover or something on a Monday, and they just want to put on Man vs. Wild. So,
that's fair enough.
So when we were like 14, we'd see the one where he's had his like when the bee stung him or something and his eyes were like all puffy, we just started laughing. So we always just thought he was like the most hilarious guy ever for some reason. And then like we've always just like, man, every episode he's drinking his own piss. Like, why? Like, dude.
Just loves it.
Yeah, he just loves it. He's got a piss fetish. It's like, there was one where he was like, he had to piss into a bunch of snake skin, like from a dead snake. And then he's like, I'm preserving it for the day after to keep it cool and fresh.
Yeah, I think it's the way he talks.
Yeah.
It's that he's got that real droney.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, there's something about his like what's it called? Like the way someone talks. I don't know. It fucking irks me. Hey?
Yeah, it's just sort of like the it's just a
irritating
sensory issue. Like, it's a sensory issue probably for yourself there.
Yeah, it's like he does that up and down monotony thing, and I was like,
it's just like, bro, please
just talk different.
There is a funny clip up on YouTube. It's like Bear Grylls shit eater. And it's this dude who looks exactly like Bear Grylls. So he's like parodying Bear Grylls and he likes to eat shit. It's like he's just like, this is fresh shit right on the ground. And it's like, man, so good.
It's only been here a minute. It's quite fresh.
Yeah. So it's like when we have no riders now, it's like, fuck. It's like, I got no cartons of export. Better drink my own piss.
It's getting like that now with the riders, isn't it? You go to like the more gigs we've played, I've noticed it's gone from like having used to get like half a carton or something at amps.
Yeah, at amps you get like a carton, I believe.
And then, but then it's like it's different now though, is it? Or do you still get it? We haven't played amps for a while. But then I remember I think you get like a 1 drink token or something now.
Yeah. I mean, the last time we played amps, what was the last time we played amps? It would have been before the Throne show. Probably like April maybe or May.
You still have the carton there?
Yeah, I think we did have the carton for that.
Maybe it was just after probably, no, fuck these guys.
Yeah, nah. But like, yeah, like Linux doesn't have any, you just get bar cards and like, I'm like, man, come on.
Yeah.
But I don't really drink before I go on stage anyway, so.
I only like to have one or two just to.
Yeah, same. I'm more like a 1 or 2 just to sort of like calm the nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like kind of meditate a little, like 15 or 30 minutes before. No, not like that. It's more like I focus on like all my anger and like kind of hate, and then just kind of like build it all up.
That's cool.
And just focus on like
get the vibe,
and then I go on stage and just let it all out. And then for like 2 months or like a month, I'm just like zen completely. I'm just like, oh, everything's cool now, man. Good. So yeah, genetically angry, I suppose Serbians are.
Yeah.
From the history that we've had for the
I've
last
worked with a
600
few
years.
over the years, and there was like fucking something. Fucking.
Yeah, I've always said that Eastern Europeans should always listen to metal and hardcore, like heavy music, because like they need it more than anyone. Yeah. They're so angry. We're all so angry all the time. It's
they're just built different. I've seen because I watch heaps of videos of that Russia-Ukraine war, and just some of the shit them blokes do. You see like drone footage. I saw this video the other day of a Russian soldier kicks like a landmine, and that blows up near him. But he's just like walking along and just like boots it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then another one, there's a drone. It is fucking them suicide drones they got. Yeah. And one flies towards him and he headbutts it, and it fucking because there's another drone watching. Yeah. And he headbutts it, and then it explodes a bit away from him. And then later, I saw a photo on Telegram. His head's like all split. Yeah. From the like blades on it, I guess, or whatever. It didn't kill him. But he's like, not today, fucking.
Not today, fucking. Then like, like
headbutts.
Yeah. See, these things like,
But it's like just, you see so many videos, and I remember seeing an old video of like this pig in like a Russian village that's going nuts, like a wild pig. And these cops are chasing it in their car, and then a guy out of nowhere has got like a ceramic kitchen sink and runs out of from the side of the camera with a kitchen sink and hits the pig on the head and knocks it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so Russian.
Yeah, I know. Well, like, because Serbia and Russia, like, they're both Slavic sort of countries in that sort of regards. It's like, when people like tell these stories, I'm like, well, not really. I'm not really surprised. Like,
it's that whole Eastern Bloc there.
Yeah, it's like the whole Eastern Europe, they're just psychos. They're all just like maniacs. They've
lived hard for so long.
Well, yeah, they have. My dad was the civil war in Yugoslavia. My dad was in that bad boy. So, yeah, he's seen some stuff.
Was that like Kosovo on that? Was that something?
That was... that would have been 99.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was born there. So I came here when I was 4.
So you wouldn't remember anything though, would you? Really?
Nah, not really.
Have you been back?
Yeah, I've been back. Last time I went back was 2019. I went for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Right.
Kind of rehab myself from partying and everything. So, it was a good time. But yeah, that 99 would have been Kosovo, and I was 2.5.
What's the capital? Is that Sarajevo?
That's Bosnia. Sarajevo.
Bosnia.
Yeah, Sarajevo is Bosnia. Serbia is Belgrade.
Oh, that's right.
And then Croatia, Zagreb. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So those.
Yeah, they'd be rough places.
Yeah. Well, growing up, like, because my parents grew up there, they were just saying like, it didn't really get bad until Tito died, the communist leader.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was still bad then, because it was under communism, but. It didn't start. The tensions didn't start building until sort of the 80s kicked in, and then the 90s kicked, and there was just war.
They got bombed by NATO and that as well.
Yeah. So where I was born, my parents had to put me in a van with a bunch of strangers, or not strangers, they were like friends, but they weren't like really family friends. Yeah. To drive me over like probably like 4 or 5 hours to
get away from all the
when my grandparents were living at the time.
Yeah.
In a little village, and get me away from there. Well, they had to, because they opened up like a shop and everything there. They had to like close the business down and everything, and then come over there, because that lasts like 90 days, those bombings.
Yeah, fuck.
And they just destroyed pretty much everything except for the region that was being attacked by us, which was Kosovo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they went everywhere else, but I mean they did bomb that section too, but not so much as like.
And what was it? What was it over the whole?
So
was it because isn't there some Muslims over there and some are Christians or something?
So that would have been Bosnia.
Okay.
So
I get it mixed up.
Yeah. So the Bosnian genocide that happened in around 95, that would have been, the UN kind of helped out to get us out of Bosnia and stuff like that. That bloody situation there. Yeah, so bad. But then in 99, the Kosovo thing was during the 70s and stuff. Tito allowed a lot of Albanians to move into that region of Kosovo.
Okay, yep.
And Kosovo is kind of like I wouldn't really want to equate it to like how, Palestine and everyone looks at Gaza and all that whole sort of holy land sort of thing. But that's kind of our place where we freed ourselves from the Ottomans, the Turks.
Yeah.
So that's, to us, is like our holy sort of land. And then
I
think just because we were causing so much terror in the 90s, NATO just had enough, and they were like, all right, we're about to drop a whole bunch of bombs on you for 90 days.
Yeah, okay.
But, as Americans like to do, with their sort of, peacekeeping, they
bombing for peace.
Yeah, bombing for peace. They go for your hospitals, your schools. They go
infrastructure,
for infrastructure. They go for your media, stations. That's what they all that's what they kind of did in the Middle East. Like if you look at Afghanistan in the 70s, before sort of the Soviets came in and the Americans, you always find that they bomb your, first your media, like they cut out all your media, so you don't have any sort of like media outlet to know what's going on. Yeah. Then they cut out like your hospitals and your schools and your infrastructure and things like that. And then they sort of attack your education system as well, your universities, your school, and things like that. So you don't have any sort of like education. You kind of rely on extreme religion. To sort of base your worldview on, and then as more sort of time passes on, the more extreme as that like religious gets, and then you have the Taliban taking over Afghanistan and things like that. So they kind of
all I think of that, all the US's interventions in places, it's like all you're doing is just creating another generation of people that fucking hate you.
Yeah, exactly right. And they've done that since the Cold War.
Well, that's what they've always done.
Yeah, they've done that since World War II. Yeah. After World War II, they started becoming Team America peacekeepers.
That's right. Yeah.
Coming along to save the motherfucking world. Yeah. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I have.
Team
Years
America.
ago.
So good.
I've seen it so long ago when it first came out, and I haven't seen it since, I don't think. But I see all the memes and that still.
Oh man, it's so good, so funny. I remember I watched it. Like,
I've got to rewatch it.
Yeah, you got to. I watched it like 3 or 4 years ago. Last time I watched it, I'm just like, this is just the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. Like
now that I know more about politics, I'll probably understand the movie better too. I think because when I first watched it, I didn't know a whole lot about America's foreign policy or anything like that. So
their terrible foreign policy.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about it. So I think like stuff in the movie I probably didn't get. Whereas now that I'm, we've got the internet and I've read a lot of stuff and watched a lot of stuff, I'm probably like, it'll make more sense to me now what they're having, what the movie's aiming at.
Yeah, exactly. I think politics has always been like a very sort of touchy subject in terms of like my life. Because obviously coming from Serbia and stuff, that place was very, like politics is a huge deal over there. Was a huge deal.
I actually find that with a lot of people I've worked with that are from from non-Western countries. Like I worked with a guy that was from Jordan, and all that, and I find that their views align a lot with mine because I don't watch any TV or any mainstream stuff, and I've kind of like a lot of skepticism towards like the US government and all that stuff and the things they say and this and that, and I find that they're a lot more open, or they're a lot more clued on to actually what's really happening behind the scenes than like a lot of Westerners. A lot of Westerners just rely on like CNN or ABC News or Nine News or whatever news outlet and think that that's gospel, but they don't realise it's like carefully curated. Yeah, and the funny thing is because you see so many people like say bag out, say Russia saying they don't have any real like free media. It's all like state media. It's like you realise it's basically the same here. Like like you look at CNN and that they always support like the Democrats and everything's like carefully edited and curated. You see clips where they've clearly edited stuff, and it's like that's exactly the same. They're not announcing that they're state owned. Like Russia will say they own RT, like the government owns that Russia Today or whatever.
Russia Today,
yeah, but it's like. CNN may as well just be called America Today. Yeah. Like it may as well be really.
Their sort of, the argument behind that one is that it's free media is because you have Fox broadcasting Republicans. This is America. If you have Fox like reporting, Republicans, and then you have CNN like Democrats. So it's like, in a way you're right, but in a way you're also wrong because it's like you're only given two perspectives. You're not given... And like both their perspectives, really, if you look at it from the core value of the whole thing, they both do the exact same thing. Yeah. It's just one is more lenient to the left, one is a little bit more lenient to the right.
That's right.
So it's like you're both really.
None of them are for the people though. Or
No.
like for the real truth behind it all. It's all like all deception and all that.
Well, because there's so much money in it, man. Like there's so much investment from big major corporation pharmaceuticals and media outlets, and it's just so it's like a popularity contest in the day. Like so
that's the thing that you see like with Americans. They're so caught up in the two-party thing, like the red or blue. Like they're so caught up.
So is that really democracy, or is that just sort of a controlled sort of outlook that you're looking at? Because if you're only allowed two perspectives, then that's not really a democracy. That's more so it's just controlled.
And then like I don't know who made the comment, but didn't someone say that like politicians should wear like a jacket like of what a NASCAR driver wears and have all their sponsors,
all the sponsors on it? Yeah,
they should
because that's what's happening.
Or it should be banned outright having any sponsorship because that to me just says straight away from the get go that if you're receiving donations of some sort, that you're going to be biased towards that donation.
Exactly right.
So I think it should be illegal.
Yeah.
Like, why do they need to have these massive fucking campaigns? You know what I mean? Just put it out there, make it known what your stance is on stuff and be truthful about it. And you don't need to go doing tours and fucking talks and that. You know what I mean?
But it's all a money game at the end of the day too.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, to me, it's just like America's lost. Their political system needs a reset. Like, whoever wins, no one's going to be happy in the US. Like, there's still going to be so much unrest. It's like the country needs to be brought together somehow, because if Trump wins, then Democrats are going to be arguing with the Republicans, and then if like Kamala wins, or Kamala, whatever you say, then it's going to be the other way around. Oh, they cheated, or this or that. It's like no one's winning.
No,
like, the American people are going to lose either way, because there's still going to be so much headbutting. Like, everyone there is so like left or right. Whereas you see a lot of Aussies, they're like, who gives a fuck? Both parties are fucked.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, you look at Labor nowadays as well. Like, everyone wants Labor in it. It's like,
I used to be Labor because of unions and that. And then I'm like, and I can't stand Albo. He's the most uncharismatic fuck.
Oh, he's so boring.
I fucking hate him.
Yeah. The last few prime ministers have just been so...
And then Dutton, though, for the Liberals, he's like a fucking knobhead too. And
there you go. So it's like, they're both knobheads.
Fucked either way. So I'm like, I don't even get into it. I don't care.
Nah.
Like, I don't have I'm not going to change it, so I don't care. I just want to enjoy my life.
Yeah, exactly right.
Do my shit. It's whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I have powerless to change it.
Yeah, exactly right. So why, the way you're going to change it is mainly by just sort of...
Education, I think.
Yeah,
like educating people.
Or like thinking for yourself in a way, and not like critically analysing every sort of media outlet that you sort of go through, because everything's a third-party source. It's not a primary source or things like that. That's what I learned in history as well. Like, you have a third-party sort of bit of document which is just written in a book, and then you have the primary source, which is the original copy from that time period. You know? So you can read the news or you can look at the news, but it's always going to be a third-party source. You're not there to experience what's going on. You know what I mean?
No,
you can't picture what's going on in that situation. So why, like, for example, even like the Palestine thing that's going on, and the Israel thing, which what Israel's doing is absolutely atrocious and disgusting.
I agree,
it's so disgusting. But like at the same time, you're not also there to sort of
you don't really know what's going on.
You don't really know what's going on. But in terms of like...
But I think the best thing we have now is like you got like say Telegram or like or the social media. You see a lot of stuff that would never be shown on media ever. Yeah.
But even that I kind of critically analyze as well. I'm like, how much of that is actually true as well?
That's right. Yeah.
Because you can
I like to get look at both sides of the thing and then try to find like in the middle.
Yeah. So I don't like when something like the Russian-Ukrainian war and even this thing going on in Israel. Like when I take a step back from it when it first starts to happen, because everyone has an opinion when it first starts. Yeah. And then I like take a bit of a step back, let it sort of play out, and then kind of like look into the research and then formulate an opinion about it. But I'm not going to go around, if it comes up in conversation, for example, like this is something, I'm not going to go around talking about it.
Yeah, I typically avoid the conversations because I find that ends up in like divisiveness.
Yeah, it does. And also, I don't really like talking about sort of that whole war thing just because my family's been so traumatized by it. You know? So it's just like it's a very touchy subject in terms of my thing as well. It's like you don't really know what it's like, whereas my family does.
That's right.
Know?
Yeah,
like my dad went to prison for 10 months in Croatia because he was a prisoner of war.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, so you don't know what that's like as well, you know, because we're the oppressors in that like sort of war that happened. Yeah. We were the oppressors. Like we were necessarily the bad guys. And I can sit here and admit that, you know. You go around villages and executing a bunch of Muslims and stuff like that. It's very disgusting stuff. So I know what it's like from that end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when people, especially when like things like this happen, and then you look at like Jewish people and the Jewish community is like kind of copping it at the moment.
Yeah.
In terms of what Israel's doing, they're not at fault. Like the common person that lives there doesn't want this to happen.
That's right.
To anyone,
and that's what I mean? Like a lot of people like you say like anti-American sentiment because of like because the US is like interventionism and stuff, and it's like but the average Joe probably doesn't want anything to do with that.
No.
Like you need to separate the government from the people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like even say Australia sending stuff to say Ukraine, like they sent like armored vehicles and stuff or artillery. It's like I wasn't asked if I want my tax money going to that.
No,
but that's why people are elected so they can do whatever they want with your tax, I guess. But I mean, we weren't asked about that. So say like Russia then took issue with Australia, it'll be like, well, don't fucking blame me because I don't necessarily support our involvement in it. It's not our thing. Let's worry about us. Like, what the fuck has that got to do with us? Like, fucking 2 years ago, you were saying Ukraine's the most corrupt shithole in the world.
Yeah.
And then now it's like this beacon of democracy all of a sudden because America fucking has got their fingers in the pie there and like been laundering money and stuff. And it's like...
Yeah, it's just all a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
I just think we should just solve world issues by playing a game of chess or nowadays just COD. If you want war that badly, just do a fucking online multiplayer free for all. Now you got the battle royales. Just fucking create an army in like Fortnite or something and then just drop down and just stop killing innocent people that don't need. Like, I feel so bad with what's going on in the world at the moment just because it reminds me a lot of what happened to us, to my people, and then it also is just so horrible to see. You
know, the stuff that's happening in Gaza, like as much as people saying, oh, but Hamas this or it's like, yes, but man, they're killing kids. Like there's no kind of excuse for that at all. Like I don't care. There's no excuse, man.
No, not at all.
No, not at the volume I've seen of videos on Instagram. It's like not at that volume. Like I know there's going to be collateral damage in war, but it's like this is like next level, man.
Yeah.
Next fucking level shit.
Yeah. Like
unseen in modern day. Like maybe that shit happened in World War II, but it wasn't documented like it is now.
No,
like, there's
exactly.
Videos, high def videos of this shit.
Yeah.
And it's, and then it's not only that, it's like now this is never going to stop now because it's like expanded into like Lebanon and that now, and then you know, Iran's fucking fight. It's like this thing's never going to stop. You're never going to see eye to eye. There's not I don't know what the solution is to it. You know, like
there's a bunch of things that are just a contributing factor. Like
but it's like now that there's all these parents without kids or kids without parents on both sides.
Yeah,
and it's like they're going to harbour that because if that was me, I would never forgive that kind of thing. And then I would probably, I don't know. Well, I've never been in that situation, but maybe you would make your life's mission to make the other people pay. If your parents were like killed or your brothers and sisters or everyone, you'd be like, I'm going to kill the other side.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to live for. It's like you're just creating another generation of people that fucking hate you.
Yeah. You create more war and you create more money.
Yeah.
That's how that.
But that's like all the people, the only people that are winning are like arms industry people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But, you know, well, that's how America got out of World War II and the Great Depression. They got into World War II because in the 30s they had that huge Great Depression going on with the economy crash in 29. And then they sort of, they got into World War II and their economy just started skyrocketing because they created more jobs.
Economy,
they created more jobs, they created more.
Like Lend-Lease as well.
Yeah, and apparently they've just taken that policy and ran with it since. You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, World War II got us out of the Great Depression. We'll just keep creating more wars so we get more money.
Yeah, I think they've found that's the most profitable thing to be doing.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
And they're good at it.
They're very good at it, yeah. Very good at divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So, it's just a bunch of... And that's what E Shit and Die is about, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, getting back to that song.
Which is, that's actually what the song's about in the terms of like the whole... It's just about, really crooked politicians and corporate scumbags, capitalism and its finest.
There's definitely plenty of ammunition there to write songs about. You know, there's never ending. Really,
there's a lot of it. Yeah. Well, I think what I wanted to do with No Pity eventually is like create. Obviously, going back into albums was to create an album about from the perspective of my dad.
Yeah,
was to create that whole like sort of that whole 90s when he lived in the 90s and stuff like that, his whole life, and not his whole life, but like his whole sort of experience throughout that decade and what he went through was like just, yeah, I kind of wanted to start it off with this, the intro being this like hymn from like the Orthodox churches in Serbia and then obviously come into like a breakdown, kind of make it like a thematic sort of album about that. Yeah. Concept album is what they call it. Yeah, kind of make a concept album about dad, but that's probably down the line or might not happen. That'd be cool. Yeah, it'll be cool because I find that, I think people should know from a point of view perspective what war truly is like, and it's the most horrible thing we can do to each other, and it should be avoided at all costs. But everyone just sort of seems to want to go up in arms and start fighting and arguing. And it's like, really, what's the point? Like, we're all going to be born and die anyway.
I think it's
one
like
day.
Now. I thought you would have thought now would be past doing wars,
especially
how have we not grown out of it as a species because we're so smart.
Especially after World War II and the nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it should have been all right. That's it. Let's stop.
Let's just stop and work on like getting along and
And now like it's even like even like more barbaric in certain ways too. Like you see videos of a lot of them drones dropping grenades on people. There's a guy that's already kind of injured on the ground, then they drop a grenade. It's like fuck. Like, and then there's guys watching it on a drone. It's like there's a lot of voyeurism of watching someone die. It's like snuff now. Yeah, and it's like everyone on the internet can watch these soldiers, and then people forget that these soldiers were just like you or me or whatever, like family dudes. You know, they've been drafted or whatever, and they don't have a say. Like, especially Ukraine with their, you know, current policy of they're going to draft people. You know what I mean? So they're grabbing people off the street, and it's like you see guys that have literally got shopping bags, and then the van pulls up and it's got them TCC or whatever they are. I don't know what the word is in Ukrainian, but these guys get out and check them for papers and throw them in, and it's fucking insane. It's like this guy's literally shopping 1 minute and now he's on the front lines, and now you're watching him die. Oh, and it's like that guy was just probably hanging out with his wife. Yeah. And
she's like, oh, hey, honey, I'm just going to go grab some milk. It's like,
and never comes back.
Yeah, it's like, where the fuck are you? Oh, just fighting some Russians. It's like, just fucking got the AK in and just...
Yeah, but that would be terrifying. People forget that we're so lucky here. That could easily be us if the tables were turned, you know what I mean? But you don't realise that.
Yeah, we're lucky in Australia. They're so multicultural as well. Like, I've always been on the belief it's like, why would you attack Australia when you're technically attacking your own people? Yeah, because like more than likely,
probably one of the safest countries.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
New Zealand, Australia and New Zealand. Like, who's going to attack us?
Nah.
Apart from our resources, China might be like, oh,
yeah, they might
resources and juicy.
Yeah, let's get that iron ore in us.
Yeah, and some lithium.
Yeah, ooh, batteries, sick. Get those Teslas out on the road. Yeah, yeah. It's a funny world, but you know.
So, how did you start your band? How did that come about?
So No Pity started out of Josiah posting on Band-Aid, and he was like wanted to start like a Kublai Khan. Originally, he wanted like Deftones kind of sound in there as well, or like
that's an odd mix. Kublai Khan and Deftones, they're like two opposite spectrums.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, but then I sent him a video when I did my little. Because I went away from the scene after 2016, 17. I went completely, I was out. I went into like, I started going to like more so EDM shows like drum and bass, dubstep, rhythm, techno, like psytrance. Okay. So I went more into that scene for a few years. And yeah, I just kind of stepped out. And then like 2022, Dion from How's Judgment Now, Dirty Work, he was just like, because one of their songs, Chameleon, from the album Fear Forever, the feature was over East, so he was like, why don't you just do it for when we play like Perth, and you know, if Chad comes over, he can just do it, but you know, you can just do it in the meantime for the live show. So I did, and I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. Like I could kind of come back in, and then I started slowly coming back into like the heavy scene, and Josiah, like about a year later, posted on Band-Aid, and then I got in touch with him. He got in touch with Mitch, who also responded to the ad, and then our old bassist as well came through. And then, none of us knew each other prior or anything like that. It was just a post on social media, and
that's cool.
Now they're my best friends, except for the old bassist. So, but yeah, now I've got Nathan, who was the guitarist of House of Judgment. But I played in a band with Nathan, like an old band that no one's ever heard of and will hear because it's shit. Terrible stuff. We played in a band like 2016 together. And yeah, he started his own project with Convulse and then Hodge, and then he had his daughter, stepped away for a little bit, and then I was like reeling him in. I was like, come on, man, come back, please, come play bass for us. And he finally said yes. And then, now I've got one of my best friends in the world in the band as well. So yeah, that's cool, man. That's pretty much how I know Pity started. It was just a random Band-Aid post on Facebook, and yeah.
How did you know you could? How did you get into doing vocals then? How did you know you could do heavy vocals? Were you just singing along to stuff, and you're like, did you figure it out yourself? Or
I figured it out myself mainly. I did singing lessons at 15. Discovered I couldn't sing. I was like, what's the next best thing? I'll just start screaming.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I just started screaming, and then I was about 15. Yeah, it would have been about 15. Listened to Devil Wears Prada, which because Mike Haranica has those like really like like those kind of like. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of easy to do, and then started doing those, and it was pretty much that. And then I was always screaming, sort of like, listening to the sort of radio, just singing along to stuff.
What were you listening to? Like when you're in your like early years of being into bands, what's probably your most influential top 3 vocalists or bands for you? What's influenced your kind of repertoire?
Top 3 vocalists in terms of like influence would be Danny Warsnup from Mask Alexandria.
Yeah.
Because I find that he's one of the few vocalists that can do like lows, mids, highs, but then also has like the voice, a magical voice, like in terms of singing, which I've always found that because like with metalcore bands, a lot of it's like the singer is like just screaming, and then you have the guitarist just like doing cleans.
Whiny.
Yeah, like doing like whiny. Like,
my mom.
Yeah. I didn't make my bed. It's like, and then
tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Yeah, those kinds of dudes. It's like, which I love, by the way. I love those kind of like, it's just so dumb, but like I just love it so much as well. It's like, hey mom, like Tom DeLonge.
Have you seen that video? Just a quick tangent here. That guy who did that fucking video. It's like one day of listening to Blink 182.
Yeah.
And he's like 1 week of listening to Blink 182. And then he's like 1 month of listening to Blink 182.
Yeah. Just over enunciating the vibes. Like I like the one where it's like it's the girl, it's like my girlfriend listening to me practice my Tom DeLonge impression in the shower. He's like, where are you?
Where are you? Is that the one where the chick's like looks emotional?
Yeah. I love those videos. The best ones, like my favorite one was I don't know if you're a wrestling fan or not, but it's or like a 90s wrestling fan with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, I think I used to play the old games like NWO on the N64 and stuff.
My girlfriend like listening to me do a Stone Cold impression like in the shower. She's like, what? Or the Metallica ones, like James Hetfield's like, yeah. It's just like, man, I love those things. Yeah. It's like Exiled later. Oh.
Have you heard of that band called Beatallica?
Nah.
It's like all Beatles songs, but the guy does it. He sounds exactly like Hetfield. It's fucking funny as fuck.
That is so dumb.
It's like, dear Judah.
Oh, that is so... No, I need to check that out, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Hilarious.
It's funny as fuck.
Oh, what an iconic voice that, man. James Hetfield.
He's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. Legend. In terms of vocalists as well, like, so Danny Watson would be definitely one of them. I think Ollie Sykes definitely for just like pure emotion in terms of like vocals, especially like that period.
He sounds like anguishy. Like it sounds like there's people that like yell or scream, and it's like they're just yelling and screaming. They're just doing vocals. He sounds like tormented.
Yeah.
I love like how he gets that.
Yeah,
that vibe out. You kind of like feel what he's.
You do feel.
You feel that he's like feeling something. Yeah. He's not just going yelling because that's what a heavy band does.
Yeah,
he's actually like sounds tortured.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does. Especially during the There Is a Hell cycle. Like I was just like, because that's the first bringing up.
I got a secret.
Yeah, no, that's Suicide Season.
Oh, okay.
That's Chelsea Smile, but yeah, There Is a Hell is like It Never Ends or like Crucify Me and songs like that. Alligator Blood. And then Frank Carter, from Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, but his old band Gallows.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah, Gallows is a huge sort of in terms of like, in terms of like what a front man, in my opinion, should kind of like, not necessarily a good vocalist, but what a front man kind of like can bring to the table, you know, just energy, raw power, not raw power, but like rawness and violence and sort of in terms of like punk and hardcore. So yeah, I suppose it all goes from like sort of technique, emotion, and then sort of vibe in a sense as well.
Like
on my top three. Yeah, and charisma and stuff like that is like sort of what I like in vocalists.
Yeah.
And then top three bands probably like, it's probably like Avenged, Bring the Horizon, and then probably like Ena Shikari.
Yeah.
Because Ena Shikari is like my gateway into like, you know, EDM and sort of like electronic music and stuff like that.
So they, so when you were growing up, you know, in your teens, listening to, like, say, heavy stuff, was it them kind of bands were the main bands you're listening to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was probably those bands were the main ones. And then I kind of went into sort of like Parkway Drive, obviously. A Day to Remember were like the main ones in my teen years. Bullet for My Valentine. Bullet for My Valentine is how I got into like everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got Fever when I was like 13, 14. Their third album, and then from that day on, it was just...
I went through a phase of listening to them. Tears don't fall.
I hate that song so much.
They crash around me.
Oh, man, I hate that song so much. One of my friends, like old friends, when we were like 14, like a music class would just sing it like on repeat. And I'm just like, bro, please
Shut the fuck up.
Stop, man. And just like every time this song comes on, I'm just like, no, turn it off. It just get Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's just damn. Yeah. It's just like flashes like, whoa, man.
What about what is that other song? That Scream Aim Fire.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool song.
Scream Aim Fire, Awaken the Demon.
Pretty thrashy.
Yeah.
Riffs. Yes.
And what else is I kind of like listening to back in the day? Like August Burns Red, Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into, when I was like 18, 19, I started getting into like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, sort of Poison.
Yeah. Gunners are good, eh?
Yeah, I love Gunners. Like the first album is just Appetite for Destruction is just...
I love the Use Your Illusion albums too, both of them.
Yeah, I didn't like them at the start when I first got into Guns N' Roses, but then as I grow older, like I started to...
Civil War.
Yeah, great song.
November Rain. Man. Oh. That's going to be the best ballad ever, I think.
Yeah.
Best written ballad. Like you listen to all the parts, like the piano, then the orchestra, and just like... And the lyrics are so fucking good, man, and the emotion in it, and the guitar solos.
Yeah, I just have such a like soft spot for like Home Sweet Home.
Yeah,
by Motley Crue.
Okay, yeah,
as like the sort of ballad, like, but yeah, November Rain is definitely better. But like
Skid Row had some good ballads too.
Skid Row.
Like,
I remember you.
Yeah,
great song. Youth Gone Wild as well.
Yeah,
18 and Life.
Yeah, 18 and Life, you got it.
18 and Life, you know.
He's a good singer.
He is. Sebastian Bach is a great singer. And then, I can't go into like, because I just like discovered Motley Crue, and I just wanted to be like I was in like 1982 and in Motley Crue and just partying all the time. And just
would have been different back then. I remember seeing an interview with Sebastian Bach, and he was saying about then like just how much money they had, and like it was just so different to now. It was like a different time. Then you look at like the old Pantera videos.
Oh yeah,
of them just like
the Volga videos.
Yeah, and them like fucking hotels throwing TVs out the windows and shit, and like putting on fucking NFL helmets and like head button mirrors and fucking light globes and fucking letting off firecrackers and lighting up toilet paper and shit in hotel rooms and burning shit. And it's just like putting holes in doors. And it was like they were just like fucking menaces.
Yeah.
But you would never do that now. You would do that once and you would never play another show ever again.
No, you'd never be able to get away with it, you know? No. So, it was a different time back then as well. With the black tooth grin as well with Pantera. It's like, you put in a bit of a But it got all, what was it, Crowns? Like Crown whiskey?
Yeah.
With a dash of Coke,
Seagrams or something.
Green.
Yeah.
Blacktooth Green. It's like the Megadeth song. It's like, I think is it that where they got it from? It was one of the lyrics from Megadeth?
Maybe.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Blacktooth Grin. Looking back, it's always 2020. Fuck, what's that song called? Hello, me.
Yeah,
the real me.
That's the
and
one.
my misfits way of life.
That's the
Dark
one.
black past is mine.
Oh. me and my friend Jake, we just always used to at work, we always just used to go like, hello, me is the real me. Like just like walking along to each other. Like just so ridiculous.
It's actually, I fucking love that song though. But I come on in the car the other day and I'm like, if you don't listen to Megadeth, these vocals are so bad.
They're so bad.
But I fucking love it because I grew up with it. I'm like, fucking, I like love reciting it. Like, hello, me, the real me.
Like,
the real me. The way he says it. Like, and my misfits way of life.
Oh, that man is a character, Dave Mustaine. Just his voice is just so bad. I just remember first time I listened to Megadeth, I was like, bro, how are they so huge? But then you listen to like the riffs and the guitar work that they have. It's just like,
I like his vocals, but I can see why they're not liked as well. Like but they're an acquired taste.
They are a very acquired taste. I've never
it's like
really
a fine wine.
They are definitely Megadeth because I've never really like, I do like a few songs by Megadeth, but I never really got fully into Megadeth.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah,
Metallica, I fucking frothed the first 4 albums.
But in saying that, I can't stand Kill 'Em All. I know that I'm going to get so much fucking hate for this, but fuck it, just these vocals are so bad.
They are, yeah. Because he's like, what, 19 or something? Yeah. Like, but Whiplash. Yeah. Whiplash is a great song.
Yeah.
It's just so good. Motor Breath.
Yeah, it's just the vocals, I think, are there. I can't listen to it now.
Nah.
Kill 'Em All's, Ride the Lightning's as far back as I go.
Yeah, Ride the Lightning's my favorite, I think. I think like my favorite Metallica album. I always used to try to be one of those like posers and go like, no, it's And Justice for All. But I reckon it's Ride the Lightning. Puppets, like I love Puppets. I love Puppets, but like I don't know. Ride the Lightning, especially with Creeping Death, and then For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yeah.
And Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu. What's the one that goes?
I fucking love that. I just love the instrumental of that. It's so fucking haunting.
Yeah, it's so good. I want to see because it's one of my favorite ones. Like my favorite Metallica song, I think.
Fight fire with fire.
Oh, great song. Come on. Where are you? Sorry about that.
I'm not big on that Trapped Under Ice song though. Hey? Isn't that one of the songs?
Yeah. No, I think that's the one that they don't like either because
I always kind of thought that song. So.
Yeah, there is that one song that they've never played live as well, and they're never playing it. I think James Hetfield talked about it. He's just like, nah, never. Fade to Black. Fade to Black is just that riff at the end of it as well.
But that guitar solo is like every kid that goes into a guitar shop plays that guitar.
Yeah. And then I love Metallica.
Yeah.
My first 4 albums. I mean, yeah, self-titled like Black Album.
I love that album.
Yeah, I'm alright with
Load.
it. Yeah, I'm alright with Load as well and Reload. I'm not frothing Reload at all. But
well, there's maybe 1 or 2 songs that are okay.
Yeah.
But I fucking
Nathan always calls me crazy for not liking the Black Album too much. But I think because I've just heard all those songs so many times on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
That when you just like get to the
I
album.
listened to that so much that's like a big nostalgia one for me.
Yeah.
You know when, you just listen to it so much as a kid, it like formed your musical tastes.
Yeah.
That and I listened so much to Vulgar and Trendkill and Cowboys from Hell so much, man. But mostly Vulgar and Trendkill. Bit of Fabian and Reinventing. I listened to that a bit when I was a bit older. Love Reinventing the Steel. Underrated album.
It is. I think so too.
Like Hellbound, how good's that?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's such a good song.
I got into Pantera. So when I was first getting into like metal and stuff, my best mate, like he made me like a little compilation CD.
Yeah.
And there was, I think it was Cowboys was on there, Cemetery Gates. I think he had Mouth of War and Walk on the thing. Those are the only Pantera songs. And I was like,
it's a good collection.
It's a good collection, but I was just like, I don't get it, Yeah. And I tried with Pantera. I was so hard because when I was like getting into bands, I'd always go first album and then kind of like make my way through it because you don't have when you're 14, 15. What else are you going to do? And I just never understood it. I was like, why?
Really?
Why? Nah, never until I got to Tranquil.
Oh.
And then I listened to Tranquil and I was like, bro, this is insane. And then I went back to all the other albums and then they all clicked.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is the greatest goddamn fucking band in the world. Philip BJ Solo. Like, and then like listen to Whiskey 101, like the live versions.
Yeah.
Really Paul on the drums, I'm having a good time. It's like, I just used to do Phil Anselmo impressions all the time with my friends and stuff. Just I'm fucking sitting here having a beer with my friends, having a good time. Really Paul's on here drums and it's like Don Bag on the guitar, Rex Brown on the bass. We're having a good time. Like,
I love his vocals on that 101 Proof.
Yeah.
And then especially Cemetery Gates, when he does one of the verses on that, man, he just does that. I can't remember which vocal line, but fuck, when I hear it, it gives me chills, man. He just sounds so like anguishy in it. I don't know, there's something about the way he delivers that. It's like, oh, mate,
the hammer was.
I'm getting chills thinking about it.
The hammer was hitting him hard at that time, you know. So
yeah, he probably was going through some shit. So,
yeah, he was. I think that was around that period of time where they just released Tranquil.
Yeah,
and he was. Yeah, I think he just.
Yeah, wasn't that? It was around like 97ish or something.
Yeah. And he was starting to get fat because he was doing too many drugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was.
That album though, man,
it's so good.
I always say this. That's the heaviest metal album ever, I think.
Yeah, it's up there with Iowa.
It's just so fucking brutal, man.
Oh, Suicide Note Part 2.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
And then opening track Tranquil, and then even War Nerve.
Oh man.
Man, like that the middle bit of it where it's like screaming like like it's like fuck, man.
It's just
so brutal.
It's
man.
so full of hatred. Like it's just
and just and even like the guitar tone and the drums, everything about that album. Like when I listen back to that, I'm like, you listen to bands now that are like everyone's like, oh, this is the heaviest band. Listen to Breakdown. I'm like, it's not heavy, but this is like another level to me. But maybe because it's nostalgia.
Yeah,
but it's just fucking. It's a lot raw. Sounds like it doesn't sound like put on at all. It sounds like.
I don't think
so
it's
authentic.
I don't think it's nostalgia. I think it's heavy in a sense because it's so emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
As well, coming down.
He sounds like. That's what I was saying before. With Ollie Sykes, I was like, it doesn't sound like you hear lots of bands now screaming like it's heaps of bands doing it now, but this like has like this authenticity where it sounds like
he's in pain. Like
it's like you listen to it, you're like, man, that sounds like the words you're saying. It sounds like you're feeling them. You're not just like yelling them words off the lyric sheet. You're like, it sounds like you feel what you're saying.
Exactly, and that's like Suicide Note Part 2 has this fucking line in it that it still resembles like. I can't remember what it goes like now, which is embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I'm not know the line you're thinking of. Fuck, what is it? Look it up.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I want to see if we're thinking the same line.
Yeah, because it's just this line. Just
do it. Gonna try to die.
Yeah, like me. Yeah. It's livid and it's
makes graves
descending down.
Yeah,
but it's not that one. It's like
But even like that was like you think of that like, even the breakdown on that where it's like descending down.
Just
even that's like a breakdown. Like in their infancy breakdowns before breakdowns
like
breakdowns.
Yeah, it's like a build up bridge in a way.
But it sounds like breakdown.
Yeah,
but then going back to what I was saying, before we talked about Parkway, I worked with that young guy and he was like, Parkway's the heaviest band. And I showed him, he's talking about breakdowns. He's like, they pretty much invented them or something. This guy said, I said, man, and I showed him Domination.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not even heavy. I'm like, man, it's so heavy, cunt.
It's so heavy because you have that dive bomb coming into just a simple, it's not.
And it doesn't even need to be tuned down. No. That's in like E standard or something.
It's like, it's because of the build. I've always felt like the build, if the build is like good enough to be able to drop it, like especially because they go from such a high, you go from such a high pitch to just go boom, like as a drop, and you're just like, man, insane. But the line that I was thinking of is where is it? Oh. Why would you help anyone who doesn't want it, doesn't want your shit advice when the mind's made up to go ahead and die?
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, Jesus, man.
Those lyrics, I'm getting chills now after you said that.
I'm just like, Jesus, man.
I'm getting the goosies.
Yeah, I was starting to get them as well. Like, just, I'm like, bro, like,
fuck.
Insane.
Now I just want to listen to Pantera.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm definitely cranking Pantera on the way home.
Yeah.
For sure. But Slaughtered will always be my favorite song.
Slaughtered.
Yeah. Because that intro is like so, that song is just so good. Far Beyond Driven.
So many good riffs, man, in their catalogue for their short life of that band.
Yeah.
You know, there was like 10 years basically of releasing albums.
Well, yeah, 10 years before that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the stuff we know, not before that, I Am the Night and all that other fucking crap. Metal Magic.
Where they were trying to be Judas Priest, and then Van Halen at one point.
But in that short 10 years, like that's so, and it's really diverse, that sound. If you go from Cowboys to Reinventing, very diverse sound. And not one of them albums has a skippable song in my mind. Not really. There might be one or two that I'm not huge on but like Trendkill for me, there's not one shit song on that. Vulgar, there's nothing I'll skip on that.
And then Far Beyond, I think it's like Hard Lines Sunk In, where he's just like talking, he just starts screaming.
These hard lines and sunk.
Or was it that one? No, it's Good Friends and Empty Pill Bottles.
Yeah, Bottle of Pills or whatever.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. I skipped that one because it's just kind of, it's more like an interlude.
And sometimes I skip Planet Caravan because I just want to hear some heavy shit, man.
Yeah, and it's a cover.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
By Black Sabbath. So, but
I also love on Vulgar. He does a bit of kind of like almost does a bit of rapping, you know, on that song. Is it No Good to Take the Radical? Is that the one?
Yeah.
There's almost like he almost leans into a bit of rap.
Yeah.
For stuff like his delivery. Oh, fucking.
Yeah, I might need to.
You know, in the States, there's a problem with the race because the ignorant past burn fires.
Yeah.
Evolution, we've been killing each other. Figured man should have it down to a science.
Oh, now we know how Kid Rock became a thing.
Yeah, but it's like, that's kind of like.
I never really noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember listening to that a while. I was like, what fucking feeling song was actually kind of rapping?
Yeah, he's kind of spitting bars out here.
He was really.
Yeah.
Like,
ironic considering he's a racist.
But it's fucking,
no, Pantera, I think for the 90s, they did say metal. I don't think metal would be anywhere it is today. I mean, it's still sort of not really like a popular sort of form of music, but if it wasn't for Pantera, I think it would have kind of like died out like 80s rock or things like that, you know. I think they just carried that banner for those 10 years and just saved it from demise.
I think as well, like as much as you're saying it's not like as popular or whatever, but if you look at say what Parkway is doing playing arenas, like, and they're not getting the coverage that Taylor Swift's and that are getting, they're getting no mainstream media coverage to be selling out arenas and shit. That's pretty fucking cool, man, considering they've got they don't have that big mainstream media machine pushing them into the minds of young kids and that. That's pretty fucking epic, man, really.
It is, especially considering they're just boys from Byron Bay. Like,
that's right.
You know, like,
and it's just like heavy fucking music, and it's like, and a lot of people think, oh, the Neanderthals or this or that. You know, the people that think it's just like simpleton music and that, and it's like, nah, man. Like,
there's more smarter people, like a lot more smarter people in metal than there is in any sort of like, or like in hardcore and like things like that. You know, especially because a lot of it has to be DIY and a lot of it has to be
that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Was going to ask you, who records your stuff?
We record in Oracle.
Yeah, okay.
Oracle, we record.
Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned that to me the other day.
Yeah, we record at Oracle at the moment, and we're just.
Who with?
We're working at the moment with Ben Ferguson from Vacant Home.
Yep. He used to be in Pincer.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Oh, he's the best.
Me and him, Nelly made a band years ago.
Oh, really?
I think we were going to like make some music because what happened was Josh Ang we got some band photos of my band.
Yeah.
I just hit him up, said, hey, you want to take some photos of us? And we went up to that. Is it Matchless Studios or whatever? I think it was. In the car park there, we got some photos, and then they were rehearsing, Pincer was. And I had Ben Ferguson on Instagram, and I'd never met him. And then me and him walked past each other. I was going for a piss, and I think he'd just gone for a piss, and we like kind of like pointed at each other. You know, like that Spider-Man meme, like you.
Yeah.
And then we knew who each other were, but I don't think we knew each other's names. Briefly, it was like, fuck, I know you. And these I know you. They were like, it was like awkward. We went to shake hands, and then like fist bump. It was like awkward as fuck.
Yeah, I hate when that happens as well. When you're about to like bounce
and I was like, hey man.
And just settle for a handshake.
And then I went for a beers, then I went in the jam room after and said hello on that.
Yeah.
But then I like went to message him on Instagram and say, hey man, it's cool to finally meet you. And then I went on there and I realised we had this whole conversation history from like years prior of like, I think he was going to do some vocals or something for us or like before I had a band, I had some music and then me and him, and then it never happened. And I was like, fuck, I don't even remember that happening. But I looked through the conversation history. I was like, oh, and that's you. Now you're in Pincer and
there you go. Small world in a way.
I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Good luck getting a response from him on social media. Criminal out here. But yeah,
such a fucking nice guy. Though.
Oh man, he's the biggest
sick
sweetheart.
vocals too.
Yeah, he is.
And I love Vacca home. He's got that like cool vocal style down.
Yeah, he does. I think one of my Dion's girlfriend like made a comment that he sounds like the dude from Being as an Ocean. I'm just like, I'm like, that would be more like a compliment in the sense of that as well. But yeah, Vacca home, I'd never realized how big Vacca home was.
He kind of reminds me of that La Dispute kind of vocal style.
Yeah, we both love that sort of kind of like music. So we talk about Touche and stuff, but he's the biggest sweetheart in the world. One of the nicest people as well. Yeah. And he's just got such a warm demeanor about him. You just want to give him a hug. But yeah, no, he's sick. He's been working with us. He did the single as well for King Hit.
Yeah, so I didn't know he did any kind of stuff. Like I didn't know he did engineering and that.
Yeah, he's just sort of kind of helping out in a sense as well, like just starting up.
Is that Oracle? Is there a guy there like Jay Huxtable?
Jay Huxtable, yeah.
I think I've got him on social media, but I don't know him.
Yeah.
So is he like the main guy there?
Yeah, he's the main guy there, and I think
kind of owns that or something, does he? Or
just
runs it?
Yeah, he runs it, I'm pretty sure. So I never really asked too much questions about Oracle, but Oracle, is where we're sort of recording at the moment to do the 3-track. And it's been a breeze at the moment working with Ben, and I love going up there, but it's just so far away.
Does he act as a producer as well? Does he kind of like offer input? Oh, maybe guys, do you want to try this?
Yeah, he does. He was like was so helpful with the single because like the single sounded completely different to what it like. The riff is the main riff is still the same. It's same with like He Shouldn't Die. Like both the riffs are like the same sort of riff that's going on, but he's just changed a lot of structuring around, changed a lot of sort of the.
That's cool. You need that sometimes. Yeah, because that's what I want. Like the next guy we work with for this upcoming stuff, I want them to like kind of be a producer as well, a bit, or like a mentor as well, because I know the songs like at this level, and I know that it's so close to being at that next level. Yeah, and it's like I don't know how to get it to that next level. You know what I mean? You know where you can hear there's this potential there. Yeah. You're like, I want to kind of exploit that potential. I don't, but I don't quite have the know-how of like, you know, maybe it'll click, but it might be like 6 months down the track or something. But, that's spliced. All right. Hold on a sec. I'll just make sure that.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. It's still recording, I'm pretty sure.
Sweet. And so I kind of want, want someone that's going to just kind of like push us that bit, or like, or just someone that's got that experience on song structures and composition. Because I had the last guy that was on my podcast, Brad McKenzie, one of my good mates. He's like an amazing songwriter, and he's been in some awesome bands like Boris the Blade and all that. And he's spent a lot of time with he tours with Parkway. He spent a lot of time with them, and Thy Art Is Murder and all that. He spent a lot of time with all these big awesome bands, and so he's spent a lot of time in studios and he was telling me a story. Because I showed him the song, and then he's like, "Man, you need to do this, this, and this." It was hard to hear because it's your song. And you're like, "Oh, I don't know," but it's like you need to hear it. Yeah. Because the funny thing is, you go to someone, you might show someone your song. What do you think? And then if they go, "I think you should change this," you kind of get shitty about it. It's like, why I'm asking you? Because I want you to affirm my opinion of saying my song's sick. But it's like I don't want that because my bandmates do that. I show them stuff, and they're like, "That's sick, man." And I'm like, "No, but I want some constructive criticism." Oh, it's sick. And I'm like, because I don't write much of the stuff. And I'm like, well, I kind of need someone that's going to go, look, it needs this or this or this. And then Brad did that. And then I was like, oh, it was hard to hear. But then I did these changes and I was like, fuck, it transformed it. And that's what I want. Yeah. And then we were talking about that. He said when he was writing music for he had a song. And he goes, he was in the studio with, might have been like Forrester Savell, was it? It might have been him. Maybe, I can't remember who it was with. And he goes, the guy goes, look, there's a few changes I want to make. I'm going to move all this stuff around. Brad was like, nah, man, no. The guy goes, no, trust me, it's going to make it way better. And he goes, nah, it's fucked. And then the guy goes, look, go down and have a beer down the street and come back. And I'll come back in an hour and I'll show you what I mean. And Brad, he reckons, and he was so pissed off and so hurt, like, because his song's been changed.
Yeah.
And he come back and he was like, came back all shitty after a couple of beers. He's like, fucking show me then. And he goes, the guy showed him, he's like, oh, fuck, I get it. Like,
yeah.
But it's hard to see it until you're like, then after you're like, fuck, wow, that really made it so much better. But I couldn't come to that realization myself. I needed someone to
sort of show you in a way. It's like the way I equate it to is like someone telling you how to parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, it's like someone telling you, you know, how to live your life in a way. It's like, so, well, no, man, like what I wrote is like sick. Like you can't tell me what to do kind of deal. And then when like they show you like sort of different perspectives or like different things that you can put into the song, or you can so like little features, like little sort of like just a simple double bass part, or just a simple like lick, or you know scrape or whatever can just change the entire dynamic of a song. And you're just like, oh man, that actually sounds way better than what I had.
That's like even sometimes if you've had like demos and you've done a vocal take on a demo and you can never capture that in the final, you're like, I can't quite get that.
No, because my vocal takes in the demos are just terrible.
Oh, really?
I do dummy vocals like terribly.
Okay, right.
Because I don't want to put like, I don't want to put too much effort into my dummy vocals. I want like with my vocals, like the way we sort of recorded the demos was, I'd go over to Mitch's house, we'd have the songs pretty much done in terms of structure, instrumentally, and then me and him would kind of sit down and work on, or I just like take, like I said, from the live show. Take from that first live show and then put it onto that one. But I would do all my takes in terms of demo, just like salt and vinegar chips, eat them every day. Like just like stupid, dumb things like that.
Yeah.
So just so I could get like a pattern going.
Get the phrasing down.
Yeah, get the phrasing right. And then from the phrasing, I kind of write, like I make sense of the lyrics that I wrote. Yeah. Even though if I can't hear them, they don't make sense. I still kind of, just to get the syllables right.
Yes. Yep.
So then I would sort of do that, write that in red, and then below that I'd write in white on my notes or whatever, or paper. I just write my lyrics to match it, and then that's how I just get it written, and then go into the studio and do my proper vocals.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to sort of exert like, or like, to be honest, I'm lazy. I don't want to spend like half an hour warming up and then having to do demos. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do dumb bass, like, you know, like stupid screams.
Because sometimes our vocalist Shannon, he'll do like this fucking amazing, like fucking blood curdling fucking scream or take, and you're like, whoa. And then, but there's heaps of noise in the background because sometimes we'll just take a laptop to PenCap True Studios and just go to the jam room there and just plug that into the PA, and then just without headphones, just like go through like demo vocals and like phrasing and work it out. And then sometimes he will send me the finals because he's got a vocal booth at home. He'll send me the finals and I'm like, nah, man, can you try capture it? And he's like, man, I'm trying. I don't know what I was doing that day.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, but that's what it needs, that, man, because that made that bit so cool.
That's what sucks about screaming. Yeah. That's what sucks about screaming is because like one day you can just have the most insane high range or lows or whatever and you're just doing them all day or whatever and you just capture it at that moment. You just capture this one scream and then you try to replicate it and you're like hurting yourself trying to replicate it. And you're just like, bro, this hurts so much.
Can't we just use AI?
Yeah, can we just use AI? Can I just use a pitch shifter and make me sound way more witchy? But yeah, no, there's just that one time. I remember, like, I think there was like one of the live shows that we played. I did like a high scream because high screams have always been the hardest for me. I did a high scream and I was just like, that sounds sick. Try to do it again. No. Never could get it in a day. Just that one moment got it. I'm just like, oh man. And it's what sucks about screaming. I mean, I suppose it would suck about singing as well when you just, as a singer, you would hit that one note. Yeah. Like a falsetto that you could just hit so high, then you try it again and you're just like, you can never hit it again.
That's what like pisses me off. You see comments online of people who say there's like a vocalist that does a line on a song, on an album, and then live, they'll do it the lower octave of it. Yeah. People are like, oh, you can't even hit his tone. It's like, yeah, but in a studio, you're in this perfect environment. Yeah. And you've got all the amount of takes in the world to get it right. Live, you're just going straight off the cuff kind of thing. Yeah. And if you can't get it, you can't get it. You might, and sometimes people talk to, some vocalists won't talk before a gig because it makes your voice hoarse. Yeah. And if they've been talking to people or whatever, all sorts of factors, or they've just got a bit of frog in their throat, whatever. They're not going to hit it, and it's just people don't realise like it's
brutal, man. It sucks so much. I hate gig days before the gig. Like, I hate gig days because I'd wake up and then I'd go drink a glass of water, brush my teeth, obviously shower, do the whole shebang, and then I don't eat until I'd say 3 p.m. If we're going, it depends on when we're going on. Like if we're going on at like 7:30, I'd eat at 2. Yeah. If we're going on at like 8:30, I'd eat at 3.
Yeah.
And it'd be
like bloated and that.
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be like a chicken wrap or something like that. You know, it'd be like a like Subway. Just get like anything that has like just chicken in it, not that much mayo, more so salads in it as well. Because that like obviously salads or vegetables and stuff has like water. Yeah. And it doesn't affect your throat. Like if you eat like let's just say you go to Macca's to get a double cheeseburger, like it actually does affect your voice. Like you feel like there's just phlegm builds up around it.
Yeah, it's dairy. Probably.
Yeah, and dairy and stuff like that. Avoid like coffee. I would go have like an energy drink or like maybe like a coffee in the morning, but that's the first thing. After that, done. No more. So it's just that like.
So you take it pretty serious then?
Yeah, on the days, because I like when we started No Pity, I was like, because the way I was screaming before, like it was just very loud, and I was like more so trying to use volume to make up for lack of technique. Because I was always like the firm believer of like it needs to sound emotional. Like you need to put your all into it. It doesn't like why use technique? Like it's screaming. You know, hardcore bands in the 80s, like or like punk bands like Black Flag and stuff like that, Minor Threat, Bad Brains, like. They all were just yelling like and screaming in a way. It was all passion. It wasn't like I'm practicing to be like, you know, Celine Dion or whatever.
To hit certain notes. Or
I'm not. It's all passion and anger, and it's all like it's all from the heart. Like that's what I was a firm believer of that. I still am to a degree, but like I remember the first jam session that we did.
You probably do it safer now though.
Yeah, I do it safer now. Like I remember the first jam session we did. I just walked out of it. I was like, this is like last October. I was just like, this fucking hurts because I haven't been in a band for 6 years, and at the same time back then I was like 19, like so I was just like, this hurts so much, and like it never hurt that way before, because I haven't done a jam in 6 years either. Yeah, so I was just like, fuck man, I have to change something. So I found this dude. I don't know if you know like Extreme Vocal Institute. Yep. Yeah, David Benitez. I just subscribed to his thing and then just.
He's got long hair?
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. He's like,
He does the thing with his hands. Like,
yeah. And it's like, he just, he's like,
I see his shorts and that.
And then put like a bit of a to it, like, and then just does like because he's got the most soft spoken voice. He's like, and then you want to be doing this technique here, and then it's just like, he just lets out a scream, and he's just like, bro, and he could just do anyone, and it's like, and I know that he was working closely with Danny Warsner from Asking Alexandria, so I was like, well, if he can revive Danny Warsner, who sounded like absolute garbage like 2 years ago, if he could revive his screams and he could do like deep gutturals again and witchies, then...
So you get lessons of him?
I just do the video.
Just
subscribe to it and then you just do the video tutorials. But I didn't really go deep into it. I just maybe went into like just retraining.
Did you need to already have to do them tutorials? Do you already need to be able to kind of do it, or
no? You can start from scratch.
Maybe I'll look into it.
Yeah, definitely do, because it was really helpful. But
I want to be able to do vocals, but
it's
just one cough my ass up, or I go hoarse after. Like,
he's also got the warm ups on there as well, so you can just do warm ups with him too.
Oh,
like, and like stuff like that, like and it's like you're opening your diaphragm and just sound like a monkey. Hot tour. And I just went into like doing his little thing. But all I needed to really do was, because I already had like sort of I suppose the bass down. I just needed to retrain the basics and lower the sort of the volume of it, and more so increase the movement of like what's going on in here. Yeah, okay. And you increase the movement, and then after like 3 months or so, I felt like I could do more with my voice than before, you know? So then
maybe I'll look into it.
Yeah. I remember when I played, when we played the second gig, I think it was with Crowbone. And then I came off stage and my my mate who was in my old band as well, like my best friend, he was like, Ned, you can talk. I was like, holy shit, man, I could talk. Because when I was coming off like live, like back even when I was like 19, I would like lose my voice for like 3-4 hours. I would not be able to talk. Yeah, I got that right now. And then, I came off stage. And I was just like,
need a strepsil.
Yeah. I need a tea, please. And I came off and I was like, I could talk. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, it's such a little thing, but like for me it was huge because like it would just fucking be caning after every after every gig we'd play or after every jam session, it'd be caning, and now it doesn't hurt at all.
That's sick.
Yeah. Although the Throne gig, after the Throne gig, it fucking hurt.
How did that come about, that gig?
We just got like, I think Ben actually, when he was still in Pinter, he just messaged us, he's like, check your emails. You got the Throne gig. And we're like,
cool.
What the fuck? Destroyer Lines just sent us an email. I was like, oh, do you want to play the Throne gig?
That's cool.
And that's literally how it all came about.
That's cool, yeah.
I was like on the phone just, I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, this is our 6th show too. Like, we never, like, and we got a fucking Dow gig straight off the bat, and like, it just felt huge. And
that's killer.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, insane, like at work, like in my fucking broker outfit at the time, and like, with a suit and tie or whatever, just running around the petrol station, go, oh, bro, we're playing with fucking Throne.
Yeah, that's sick.
So sick. And then it was a big thing for us as well, End It All, played with the boys too. They were like main support, Pincer, Dark Matter. Yep. So playing with all those like fucking bands, like huge in the Perth scene too, was like definitely huge for us too. So, and then obviously Throne coming along, and it was a great experience for sure. My mic was turned down a little bit, so I came off the stage, I was like fucking caned because I just had to project so much more. Yeah, okay. But I was still happy with the performance that we put on. Like, I feel like in terms of live, like I feel like we do a very good job. Like, no pity. So definitely need to come down to a show.
100%.
We got
organise something.
For sure. We could play a gig together, or come down on the 23rd. November.
Oh yeah, when's your next gig?
23rd of November with End It All, and a bunch of, there's like 5 other bands at the bill as well.
Yeah,
so
where's that?
It's in the Seasonal Brewery in Maylands.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my birthday too, so I'll make you feel extra guilty too. 5 days before my birthday.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll tell you that.
Definitely come down.
So that's coming up. Because I was going to ask before we wrap it up, what's coming up for the bands?
Yeah, so that's pretty much the next gig that we have, and then I don't know what we're going to do after that. Maybe take a bit of a break over Christmas and try and get this 3-track done and dusted before hopefully March. Yeah. But so it's gonna be a good time. Yeah, man. Can't wait to play live again. Last show we played was with Rat King, actually. Okay, yeah. I played with Rat King last gig. That was fun.
See, there's all these bands I haven't been to any of your guys' gigs, like any of that kind of group of hardcore bands.
I love the scene that we're in, actually, to be honest. I call it the loudmouth scene, like, because Andy from Crosscheck, he runs everything, like, in terms of loudmouth, him and Peter. End It All, more so Andy. Peter does his good job of being a handsome man promoting it. But that whole scene is just so, because it's so DIY, as well as like everyone's just mates with each other. It's just so healthy. It's like cool. Everyone supports each other. Everyone's like, there's no beef, there's no dramas or anything. Shit. There's no dramas. Everyone's just there to have a good time. Throw a few spin kicks, throw a few elbows, crowd kill a bit, and then just have a good time, really. Enjoy each other's company and play shows together. And it's just,
it's all about.
It's all just community, really, and I love it. That's what I love about the scene that we're in at the moment as well. Like, it's all just mates. That's it. Just the boys having a few beers, playing a few breakdowns, going home. That's it. Good for your mental health.
100%.
Helps you out a lot. So lovely scene that we're in. So definitely worthwhile checking out the sort of us little in the Loudmouth crew. Well, we're not part of Loudmouth, but I just want to sort of we're associated with a lot of those bands, like in terms of like who we talk to and communicate with as well. So like those bands are sort of who we're hanging out with, like Shattered as well. Shattered is probably one of the best bands in Perth as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're so good.
I don't think I've seen them either, but I think No Guilt use played with them?
Not yet.
No,
we haven't played with No Guilt yet. No,
they're not part of that.
They are kind of in a way. Yeah,
okay,
they're more. Yeah,
they're kind of like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. But yeah, Shattered and Ended All are like probably like my favorite bands of Perth at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to check any of them out live. I've got to do it.
Definitely check out Shattered's last EP.
Yeah.
And then Ended All's got their EP coming out in November as well.
Mm-hmm.
Alone and Obliteration, the 2 singles from it, sick. And then their last EP, Put Here to Suffer, is like for that year and like probably for the last few years as well, has like been one of my favorite releases.
Yeah, right.
Because I just love that sort of just breakneck sort of metalcore, just like fast, like Dylan Driscoll playing kind of in a way, but like just mathy kind of like drums and instrumentals with like just like hardcore beatdown breakdowns. And it's like, it's just so sick. I love that band. Yeah. I'm brown nosing them so hard, and they're going to be cringing so hard if they do see this, but I just love their band, and yeah, they're so sick. So yeah, definitely 2 bands you should check out. Yeah. And Dirty Work, of course, but you know, they each their own, you know, down. Yeah, I just love making fun of him so much because he's one of my best friends and he's a sweetheart, but he likes to put on his like tough guy demeanor, you know. But he's the biggest sweetheart in the world. So I thought he was an asshole when I first met him as well. But he's actually the biggest sweetheart on the planet.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I'll meet him at that gig.
Yeah,
coming
for
up.
sure. Yeah, for sure. If he decides to come. Who knows? You might
after seeing this, you might be like,
he might be like, fuck you, Nenad. And I'm like, well, I've said nice words about you too. But yeah, definitely come down and see the gig that we're going to be playing with Ended All. Seasonal brewery, nice food, family, kind of family.
Bring the kids, mate.
Yeah, bring the kids.
No, I won't.
Well, we've got nice food, nice beers. So
yeah,
it's a definitely good family outing.
Yeah,
for
cool,
sure.
Man. Well, it's nearly 2 hours there. So.
Oh, beautiful. That goes by quick.
It does, man. It does.
Yes, for sure.
It's a fun one, though.
Yeah, it is. It was a good time.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Legend. Cheers.